They say fame protects you. But what happens when the same fame turns into evidence against you? Sean Diddy Combs, one of the most influential names in music and business, is no longer making headlines for his success. He's making them for the trial that has exposed the darkest corners of the entertainment world. This is the full story. The rise, the fall, and the shocking truth behind the case that could redefine celebrity justice in America. Before the courtroom, there was the empire. Sean Combs built an image that seemed untouchable. A hip-hop mogul, entrepreneur, and global icon. He was the man behind Bad Boy Records, Ciroc Vodka, and a billion-dollar brand that blended music, luxury, and power. But behind that glamorous empire, whispers had always followed him. Rumors of control, intimidation, and the kind of excess that blurred the line between power and abuse. For years, it was just talk, until the evidence started stacking up. It all began quietly in late 2023. Federal authorities had been investigating multiple complaints involving sexual misconduct, coercion, and violence against women. Dozens of civil lawsuits had been filed, some going back decades. In March 2024, the investigation turned criminal. Prosecutors in New York unsealed a federal indictment charging Combs with racketeering conspiracy, sex trafficking by force and coercion, and transportation for the purpose of prostitution, a violation of the Mann Act, a law used to prosecute those who move individuals across state lines for illegal sexual activity. The allegations painted a disturbing picture that Diddy had built a secret network that enabled abuse, manipulation, and exploitation under the cover of his fame. When the charges were read aloud, Combs pleaded not guilty. He called the accusations false and said he was the victim of a smear campaign designed to destroy a black man's legacy. The trial began in May 2025 in the Southern District of New York under Judge Arun Subramanian. From day one, it was clear this wasn't a typical celebrity case. The courtroom overflowed with lawyers, journalists, former associates, and curious fans, all waiting to see if one of hip-hop's biggest icons would finally face justice. The prosecution built its case on digital evidence, financial records, and testimonies from two women central to the case: Cassandra Cassie Ventura, Diddy's former girlfriend, and another identified only as Jane. They testified that Combs used his power to control and intimidate them, forcing sexual acts, committing violence, and transporting them across states for what prosecutors called degrading and coercive performances. Text messages, videos, and records showed what prosecutors said was a disturbing pattern of abuse masked by wealth and luxury. The defense countered that every encounter was consensual, portraying the women as adults seeking money and revenge. They argued the government was turning an indulgent lifestyle into a criminal enterprise. Their central claim, Sean Combs might have lived recklessly, but he wasn't a criminal. For 8 weeks, the courtroom became a battleground between power and accountability. Cassie's testimony was emotional, describing years of manipulation and fear behind the glamorous facade. Jane testified she was transported between cities for events that turned into private encounters she never agreed to. Her story aligned with prosecution evidence of travel logs and payments. The defense called former employees who said they never saw abuse, describing Combs as demanding but generous. They accused prosecutors of chasing headlines, not justice. Through it all, Diddy sat mostly silent, occasionally shaking his head or whispering to his lawyers. The once unstoppable mogul now looked like just another man facing prison time. After closing arguments, the jury deliberated for 3 tense days. The verdict: Sean Combs was found not guilty of racketeering and sex trafficking by force, but guilty of 2 counts of transporting individuals for prostitution. The courtroom fell silent. It was a split verdict. Not full exoneration, not total conviction. Judge Subramanian denied Diddy's request for bail, citing his history of intimidation and the risk of witness interference. He remained in custody awaiting sentencing. Outside, reactions were mixed. Supporters cheered, critics called it partial justice. For victims, it was at least proof that power couldn't always shield abuse. On October 3, 2025, Combs returned to court for sentencing before a packed room of reporters, family members, and victims. Judge Subramanian said, "Mr. Combs, you built an empire on music, but behind it, you created a system of manipulation and harm. For that, you will face consequences." The sentence: 50 months in federal prison, just over 4 years, plus a $500,000 fine and 5 years of supervised release. With credit for time served, Diddy will likely spend about 3 more years behind bars. Dressed in a dark suit, he finally spoke quietly, I've lived a life of excess, and for that, I'm deeply sorry. I take responsibility for my behavior and hope to make peace with those I've hurt." The victims listened in silence. The reaction was swift and polarizing. Social media exploded. Some called it justice, others leniency. Legal analysts labeled it a milestone for celebrity accountability. After decades of wealth and influence, Diddy was now a convicted felon. Outside court, signs read, "Justice for survivors," while supporters argued the system had turned on a black icon. Within days, his lawyers announced plans to appeal, claiming the sentence was excessive and the court misapplied the Mann Act.
Hey, I really don't know what's going on with you, but I just want to just give you the heads up that I'm about to really disappear on you. You feel me? I'm not going to be playing these games with you at all, at all. So I don't know, you think you silent treating me.
The Bureau of Prisons began reviewing where he'd served time. His team requested FCI Fort Dix, a low-security facility in New Jersey known for housing white-collar inmates. But this story is far from over. More than 50 civil lawsuits still hang over Combs, most from women alleging similar abuse. His legal battles could last years. Reports also surfaced that his team sought a presidential pardon, sparking national outrage. Whether or not that request is granted, one fact remains. Sean Diddy Combs' once untouchable legacy has been permanently shattered. This case isn't just about one man. It's about what happens when power, fame, and money collide with morality. For decades, the entertainment industry protected its stars, hiding stories, silencing victims, and turning trauma into rumor. But that protection is fading. The conviction of Sean Combs, even on limited charges, sends a message. The era of untouchable celebrities may finally be ending. For the victims, it's a moment of validation, proof that speaking out can bring justice, even against the powerful. For the legal system, it's a reminder that accountability doesn't stop at the red carpet. And for the rest of us, it's a question. How many more stories like this are still buried, waiting to be told? As of now, Diddy remains in federal custody, awaiting transfer to his designated facility. His lawyers continue to fight through appeals, while prosecutors push for additional investigations related to financial misconduct and witness intimidation. Insiders say that several people from Diddy's inner circle are now cooperating with authorities, suggesting that the story might not be over yet. If the appeal fails, Sean Combs could spend most of the next 3 years behind bars. A shocking fall for a man once considered the face of hip-hop's golden empire. His businesses are collapsing, his sponsorship suspended, and his brand reputation shattered. But for many survivors, that's not tragedy, it's accountability. What does this mean for the future of fame? For years, we celebrated the myth of invincibility, that talent and wealth could erase consequences. But cases like this remind us that truth has a way of finding light. Sean Diddy Combs will be remembered for his music, his hustle, and his empire. But now, his name carries something else. The cost of unchecked power. Justice may be imperfect, but it's moving, slowly, painfully, relentlessly, toward the truth. This was the story of Sean Diddy Combs, the rise, the trial, and the reckoning. What do you think? Was this justice, or just another example of power bending the rules? Share your thoughts in the comments. If you found this video informative, make sure to like, subscribe, and turn on notifications, because in the next part, we'll dive deeper into the aftermath of this case and the hidden details the media didn't show you. Until then, stay aware, stay curious, and never forget, the truth always finds its way.